Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of Azure On Air. This is Amrita here, and today I have an expert here with me to talk about serverless data integrations. So, with us we have Ratomir, who's a software engineer at DevTech. He's a highly experienced software and DevOps engineer. Over the past years, he has gained extensive experience in the software industry and has been recognized for his ability to deliver results on challenging projects. So, additionally, Ratamir believes in contributing to the community by being an active speaker. So that's why we have got him in our show today. So hi, Ratamir.
For me, the data is, let's say, the fuel for today's world. I will want to explore with you a fascinating world of the serverless data integration. So, in today's session, we will explore the power of serverless data integration. Let's embark on the journey into the realm of serverless data integration. Hey, hello everyone.
Yeah. So Ratamir, when I approached you for the topic, your very first, you had a list of topics with you, and you gave me the first topic to be serverless data integration, which I found to be very attractive. Can you also share why that idea popped up? That you want to talk it in a podcast, or can you give us an introduction about the topic?
hmm Yes, for sure. First of all, thanks for having me today. Welcome to everyone to my first podcast. For me, the data is, let's say, the fuel for today's world, and we're living in the era of AI. So, I'm not sure if you follow the latest MS build. We have seen a lot of new services for the AI, but still, there's a problem how to move and put that data to the services in the cloud, especially for the Azure cloud. And definitely there are a lot of services on the market that we can utilize to move our data, but somehow we need to find adopt and a good way to filter and somehow move that data to our services. In this episode, I will want to explore with you a fascinating world of the serverless data integration. So it becomes increasingly evident just how vital data is to our lives. However, a significant challenge arises when we realize the sheer magnitude of the data residents in on-premises environments. Powerful cloud providers offer powerful tools for collecting, analyzing, storing, and training, and generating valuable data sets. I mean, somehow we want to generate valuable data sets and export the, as I want to say, some story in the background that data is telling to us. So, how do we efficiently transfer this data into the cloud? Selecting the right approach involves consider a multitude of parameters: the volume of data, the frequency of updates, and regularity with which data needs to be imported into the system, and all play crucial roles in making an informed decision. Serverless technology, it is a remarkable solution that enables us to tackle these challenges and data integration to our specific needs. So, in today's session, we will explore the power of serverless data integration tools and uncover its potential to do and do to different ways how we can handle the data. So, without further, let's embark on the journey into the realm of serverless data integration.
Sure, sure. So that was a quick introduction that you gave about what you're going to see today. So I would like to have this in specific now a question that I put forward. So you said it the data integration which is applicable for various services, right? So let me have a question for Azure Functions. So when you said there are lot of benefits as well, but I would like to start off with: are there any limitations or constraints that we have to be aware when using functions for serverless data integration, especially regarding the data size, throughput, or processing requirements? Yeah.
Yes, definitely. There are a lot of requirements, and somehow we need to adapt our solution to the limits that we have from the cloud. So, you mentioned the Azure functions. Definitely, Azure functions are a key component in the Azure serverless ecosystem. When we start processing, let's say, one file, we need to worry, we need to keep our head about timeout. We have a limit of our execution with the time, and somehow we need to process and finish that execution in the limitless that we have. So Azure provides with the Azure Functions different scopes of time limits with the different plans. We'll not go right now into deeper, but we need to worry about that time. But the question is how to resolve that problem. Let's say that, I don't know, one time we will get 10,000 records. The next time we will get 15,000 records in the file. The key question, the crucial solution for that is a split when we got that spike, not expected amount of rows in the file. Somehow we need to split into smaller chunks that file. So let's say if we have 50,000 records in the file, let's say split them into 5 files so that we can adopt that process execution in the timely consumer that we have from the Azure. So somehow we need to be cautious and worry about time consuming. Also, the memory is a crucial part of the data processing. So it depends of the requirements how to wrangling and handling the memory. If we need to load a lot of data in memory, maybe that's not a good approach. Somehow it is possible to save smaller chunks. Let's say process something, one amount of data, save that to the hard drive storage, Azure storage database or whatever, and trigger the next execution in the workflow or the pipeline. So that's a little bit small overview how to handle and resolve the problem.
Excellent. So now you just explained how it works in the serverless part, right? I just want to have a quick understanding. What if it has been a hybrid approach? So what are the benefits of this hybrid approach? Say, for example, if Azure Functions facilitate integration with on-premise networks, and what would be the benefits of this hybrid approach to serverless data integration?
Yes. So as I mentioned from the beginning of our session, there are a lot of amount of data still in the on-premises data centers. A hybrid approach is definitely a good way how to move the data from the on-premise to the cloud. Let's say that we want somehow to we have a data in the our data centers, but still we want to adopt our system to the cloud because we have in a plan to move in the future the whole solution into the cloud ecosystem. A hybrid approach gives us opportunity to wrangling the data in the parallel. New data will start from the new way over the cloud, but with the hybrid approach and the private connections, we can moving step by step our data from our data centers to the cloud. Definitely. So as you know, software systems are existing for a long time. They are collecting a lot of data. Definitely, Azure offers a lot of services to connect privately, not just privately. So we need to keep that connection in the secure, stable manner to move that data into the cloud.
So we just spoke about a lot about this particular thing. So I just want to understand, like about the topic of lift and shift. So how does that work in the serverless data integration? How what's the place of that?
Lift to shift is another different approach for the data. I'm not sure that is 100% consumable for the serverless data integration. A lot of different batch of clients they had let's say gigabytes and gigabytes, not just gigabytes. We're speaking about terabytes of data, and for them it is difficult to just say okay, but definitely. Many of them they are looking somehow to move into the cloud to do modernization of their systems to rewrite, adapt, or re-architect, rebuild, whatever. And they don't have a different approach except okay, right now we will do lift and shift, and later in the phases we will rewrite or rebuild totally new solution to adapt our changes into the native cloud environment. I'm not just I don't want to vote for the systems. Okay, we will do lift and shift into the cloud. If someone do lift and shift, okay, well, let's think about how you can improve and adapt your system to the cloud environment. So That's, I hope, my answer to your question.
Yeah. So, like we have had everything in a theoretical explanation. I also like to understand something which impacted a business or how it works in the real time. So, can you just share with us your real time experience in the serverless data integration space?
Let's say that, so from my experience, I had to streaming the data application for the sportsmen. They have a lot of measures to measure and track, you know, blood pressure, movement on fields, etc. So somehow we needed to figure out how to quickly move that data, analyze it somehow in the real time, and put some reports, data to trainers, people in management, whoever. And we found serverless as a perfect solution for us. Why serverless? Because we don't need to provision all of time the services in the background. People or sportsmen, they are training in the dedicated time of day, or they have 2 times per day training. Particularly in that time, you need to follow, measure, and collect the data. After that, somehow from someone from the management, or from the people that they want to find and analyze some data, they will use the system, but not too much as in the crucial time. So for me, it was really interesting use case, serverless, and you never know, if, let's say, if you got a new franchise or team or whoever, so still your system is robust, it can really easily scale up and down. That is, for me, the most significant use case that I had.
Great. So, coming to the final question of the podcast. So, this is the final session. So, I would like to understand. So, you have gotten huge expertise in this particular industry, and now you see there's a lot of migration that people are migrating to cloud and Azure, right? So, what would be a piece of advice for the beginners or people who are trying to implement Azure in their business? So that they'd be benefited as well.
So I'm not sure that I can tell you, okay, take this or this scope of services and your problem gone. Um, so usually, what I want to say, when you implement the first solution or first architecture, definitely that doesn't mean that architecture will work all of time. In the future, we are all witnesses that we need to adopt, rewrite, or rebuild our services. Definitely, Asia is changing from day to day. So definitely, every new year we will get a new services to do our job on a better or efficient way. Um, so I believe that always we, as engineers, developers, and architects, we are need to looking into the future to see what is coming, somehow to predict our problems as much as it possible, and adopt our solutions to them. I see that in this case, serverless, Microsoft and Azure, definitely they provide a stable foundation for our data integrations to resolve that problems, and definitely I feel comfortable to work in that environment.
Yeah. So, in addition to this question, so how does this learning curve of Azure work for the beginners?
So I'm not sure. Definitely, it is not too hard to start with Azure several services. Microsoft provide a really good documentations and examples on the GitHub. So my advice to the beginners is, let's find, for the first, read the documentation about Azure Functions, because they're, as we mentioned, key components in our workflows. Mm, After that, definitely storage services, maybe Azure Storage Account, or Cosmos DB is an excellent, efficient data storage. And after that, mm, maybe Azure Storage Queue or Service Bus. So definitely there are a lot of examples and documentation to start with the serverless, but for the beginners, let's say Azure Functions, data storage account, uh, Azure Logic Apps, they provide a lot of key connections to a lot of other services. So somehow my answer is that. So these couple of services.
So, Ratamir, thank you for joining us in the show. We had a great time
Mhm.
learning a lot from you, and we hope we have the same conversations in the upcoming podcast if required. Yeah. So, we are looking forward for more recordings with you, and it was excellent session from your end. Thank you for joining us.
Cove.co